Children have to develop the physical ability to control their bladder and bowels. And again, like children, that development varies a great deal from individual to individual. It's just not reasonable to expect a 12-week-old puppy to be perfectly house-trained. But it is important that you establish good age-appropriate potty habits as soon as you bring your puppy into your new home. Your puppy under 12 weeks old doesn't have good control over his bladder and bowels. He often doesn't even realize he needs to go. He just finds himself going. So your job is to foresee when your puppy will need to go. And then take him outside just before then, so that when the need to potty overtakes him, he's already outside. Here are the times when your puppy is almost sure to have to relieve himself. About 10 minutes after the start of a play session, about 15 minutes after eating, and immediately upon waking up. In addition, look for these signs that your puppy has to go. If he's chewing something, playing, sitting on your lap, or doing anything else, and he abruptly stops and starts walking around or sniffing, he has to go. If he's near the door, even if he just walks by it, take him outside. All else aside, a puppy under 12 weeks will need to go out at least once an hour when he's awake. You're going to be going out many times a day for weeks, so make sure you have slip-on shoes, rain boots, raincoat, and seasonally appropriate outerwear ready to go near the door. If you're fumbling to find your rain boots, your puppy will have long since relieved himself in the house. Try as you might, you're not going to be able to watch your puppy constantly 24/7. So when you need to focus on something else, put your puppy where he can't make a mistake. We recommend an exercise pen attached to a crate so the puppy has a den, play, and potty area. Anytime you can't watch your puppy, this is where he should be. This is also where your puppy should sleep when he first comes home with you. Begin by leaving the crate door open at night. Withhold food for 3 hours before bedtime, and unless it's very hot in your puppy's area, take away water 1 hour before bedtime. Take him outside right before putting him to bed and make sure he does at least pee. When your puppy can go 5 or 6 hours at night without waking up and using the potty area, you can begin closing the door to the crate at night, but set an alarm so you get up no more than 5 hours after closing him in. Again, chances are you won't be closing the door to the crate until your puppy's well over 12 weeks old, but be patient. We've raised a lot of puppies, and we can tell you that some puppies will be perfectly trained at 12 weeks, and some puppies will still be having occasional accidents in the house at a year or more old. Both scenarios are within normal range for well-raised puppies. They all get the hang of it eventually, but they have to come to it in their own time.
Everybody's going to go poo outside. That is fantastic.
No matter how careful you are about taking your puppy out on time, he's bound to have accidents. So what should you do if you catch him in the act of dirtying in the house? You might think that scolding him for going to the bathroom in the house will speed up the house training process. After all, if you teach him what's inappropriate,
Not acceptable!
as well as appropriate, he'll learn faster, right? Unfortunately, it's not so. When you scold your puppy for relieving himself, you think you're punishing him for going in the house, but what you're really punishing him for is going to the bathroom in front of you. Because you're so emotionally wrapped up in the horribleness of the puppy going to the bathroom inside the house, you think it should be obvious to the puppy that he's getting punished for going in the house. But if you step back and look at it, it probably never even dawns on the puppy that he's inside the house at the moment when you're scaring the bejesus out of him. The most obvious conclusion for the puppy is that going to the bathroom in front of you is dangerous, so he'll still go inside the house. He'll just find a safe place to hide from you before he does it. People think that the puppy does this because he understands that relieving himself in the house is wrong, and therefore hides because he feels ashamed. But nothing could be further from the truth. The puppy's hiding because you're a crazy monster who screams at him for performing an appropriate and natural body function. So he logically concludes that he needs to hide from you before he goes. What's worse is that because you've instilled the fear of God into your puppy for relieving himself in front of you, he's going to be afraid to go to the bathroom in front of you even when you take him outside. So now when you take him outside, he'll hold it until he gets back in the house and can find a safe place to hide from you and relieve himself. Again, people often think the puppy's being spiteful when he does this, whereas he's actually just logically following the rules you set up for him, which is to avoid going to the bathroom in front of you at all costs. The vast majority of puppies will be fairly reliable at 5 months old, but puppies that were raised in dirty conditions can be more of a challenge to house train and may take longer to catch on. It's very important that the breeder keeps the whelping area and the weaning pen very clean. Because if the puppy's allowed to live in a dirty environment and step in his own waste, that can pervert his natural instinct to keep clean. So it's really important to get in that weaning pen and clean it out on a regular basis. I'm going in.